everyone. You're tuning in to the first episode of Alumni Talkies Season 4, an SCMHRD podcast featuring our illustrious alumni. I am Vaishnavi, and with me I have Vishnu and Vipin, and we will be your hosts for this riveting episode of the Alumni Talkies. A seasoned professional with 7 years of experience in the field of IT, Miss Ajita Kathuria began as an engineer. She honed her skills for 3 years before pursuing an MBA from SCMHRD. With a specialization in business analytics, Ms. Ajita embarked on a journey with Wipro Ltd, where she excelled as a go to market consultant, overseeing data and analytics solutions across industries, leaving a significant impact in the US and APMEA regions. Currently, she thrives in her role as a corporate strategy consultant at Wipro Ltd, utilizing her expertise to drive strategic initiatives. Today, we are engaging with her on the topic of Gen AI. A very warm welcome, Ajita ma'am, and thank you for being a part of Alumni Talkies.
Thank you, Vaishnavi. Thank you, Vishnu and Vipin. It is truly an honor to be considered for such an engaging platform. Thanks to the entire alumni relations team for organizing this, and kudos for your meticulous efforts. Hoping today's conversation benefits the batch.
Of course, ma'am. Thank you so much for taking out the time. It's your schedule. So, starting with it, ma'am. So, what exactly is generative AI, and how does it differ from the other AI applications?
So, generative AI is just a subset of artificial intelligence. It is like a creative genius in the AI world. Unlike other AI that analyze data or make decisions, generative AI focuses on making new and original stuff like art, music, text, image, or videos. It's like AI's way of coming up with fresh ideas and surprises. So it uses special techniques to learn from data and then create something totally new based on what it learned. So basically, giving you a support in doing all the creative work and also coming up with new ideas and then helping you align it with what you have thought about it.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So that's, I guess, a very clear introduction for the topic. Moving forward, so how is generative AI transforming various industries, and how does it change the education sector and any implication for the traditional methods?
That's a great question. We all know that artificial intelligence has been transforming industries for decades. But the introduction of generative AI is taking it to a whole new level, right? So, from creating music and art to designing fashion or even discovering new molecules, right? This technology is revolutionizing various fields in ways we never thought about, right? So if we see some applications in the various industries, like for the art world, it has yielded remarkable pieces where we've seen artists like Mario Klingman creating captivating works that blur the lines between human and machine craftsmanship. Musical compositions that were done by Amper Music, where they've composed melodies that resonate with human emotion. Beyond the realm of aesthetics, generative AI has also found its applications in industries like banking, healthcare, manufacturing, automotive, retail, and so on. In the automotive industry, if I talk about the currently use and the under development use cases that are there, generative AI is able to create new designs for cars that are more efficient and also safer than ever before. It is able to create new manufacturing processes that are faster and cheaper than the traditional methods. While in manufacturing, automating the design and optimization of processes has become really quick and efficient. And in some cases, generative AI has also, it's also creating completely new products, which were not possible to make with the traditional methods. And on the other hand, if we talk about the healthcare industry, where we have seen or we are expecting the impact and the potential of generative AI to be the huge, uh, it's where their healthcare industry is able to develop new drugs and treatments for diseases. Now, while they analyze vast amounts of data, it can identify patterns that may lead to new breakthroughs in medicine. Uh, it is also improving the diagnostics. It is helping doctors to better diagnose diseases and tailor treatment plans to individual patients by taking into consideration the data from the patients. And it's also personalizing the medicines. While a person's individual genetic makeup is available, the models, the generative AI models, analyze those, and then they develop treatment plans. In the banking industry, if we see, we have so many use cases right now where generative AI is helping detect the fraudulent behavior. It is helping to identify new opportunities for growth. In While insurance companies are using it to better assess risk, at the same time, investment firms are using it to generate new ideas to find new ways to make money. As far as the education sector is concerned, I believe generative AI will disrupt the traditional one size fits all approach, replacing it with a dynamic, personalized, and also adaptable learning environment. It will empower the students as well as teachers while making the entire education experience quite interactive, innovative, and immersive. It will reduce a lot of time for the teachers to create content, do the preparation for the classrooms. Also, when they have to do the grading, it will help in that, while reducing the bias as well, right? So a lot of time will be there for the teachers to actually interact with the students, come up with new ideas on how they want to focus on, what the learning style should be. And also it will reduce time on, or it'll just tailor the learning programs for the students as well, where you can come up with new ideas of what should be the curriculum, right? At the same time, students will also have a lot of time to understand the level 2 of where they should start. So it's not something where they initially starting, but the level 2 of how the more creative ideas should come for them, or maybe analyzing certain data. So you will have the consolidated data in front of you. Now what you need to do is just understand it and go beyond with it, and just take it as a mentor to help you in your creative ideas, and giving you all the information at one in one place.
Thank you so much. That's a very elaborate answer because till now, everywhere or most of us just think that this AI is all about replacing human in the various industries like HR, finance, or every other industry that we have talked about right now. But listening to this answer, it says that how it is bringing about very innovative changes in almost all the sectors.
That's true. So if you talk about our roles in HR, finance, and when we talk about AI replacing humans, I would argue that it is not going to replace you. It is more going to be a support or to boost your activities, right? So it's
Yeah.
something like having a super smart partner that helps you do your job even better. So,
Yeah.
if I give you an example, in HR, it's like having a super fast assistant that will screen the resumes, predict who might stick around, look at the attrition rates, whom to retain, what is going to be the next thing for, designing some training programs, learning programs for the employees in the company, and which is also all tailored to a particular employee, right? So, personalization is something which is really the focus going to be for employee experience, right? And in finance, if you see, it is like having a crystal ball in your hand and predicting um, the risks and how to make smarter investments, right? But while you talk about the marketing, where all the creativity comes in, is it will be your creative partner coming up with catchy ads, posts that really connect with the customers, because it will analyze the vast amount of data that is available from the customer behavior, from the past and the history, and how is it changing. And then you can have those dynamic ideas, and on the go you can go with the ideas. Yes, you need human intervention here, because there are certain risks associated with generative AI. But once you have a few human feedback uh, integrated into whatever the output you've received from the generative AI applications, it will help you create more, or I should say, much better outputs where it is also controlled.
I guess with this answer, most of the the fear that usually we students have, or maybe the even the very new generation professionals have regarding AI replacing them, would be subsidized, ma'am. So, but again, ma'am, the moment AI started being used very prevalently, so there was also this talks about the creativity or the authenticity of being reduced. So how is this AI generated content becomes when it becomes more prevalent? What would be the society's perception of creativity and authenticity evolve?
That's fascinating question. But when so AI generated content, when it becomes more common, the whole idea of creativity and authenticity can also take a spin, right? So imagine this: we are having music. We don't know if it is created by generative AI or some person. We might be looking at a painting and just seeing, this is such amazing painting somebody painted, but later we get to know that it is generated by a computer. It's a generative AI output, right? So people might start seeing creativity as a kind of collaboration between human imagination and also AI, right? So when it comes to authenticity, we might start valuing the process and intent behind the creation more than just the human touch, right? But when we say AI is doing the heavy lifting, human guides it, right? So it's long due. I wouldn't say that it will be used commercially as of now, because the focus on generative AI right now is on the productivity boost or the productivity gain that we want, like how automation started in the first place. When other AI applications came into picture, we also had this view AI can do a lot of things which will be harmful and all that. But today, we are still using AI to boost our work, boost our decision making. Similarly, generative AI will have the same impact on the productivity for now. Moreover, in the future, it will have some part where it will be helping us in innovating stuff, right? But it's mostly going to be where humans are interacting and guiding the program altogether to give it a human touch, plus also have better efficient products that are available. But again, there is a flip side to it. I know I've talked about it in a very positive sense altogether, but there is a flip side that some people might also worry that the realness, right, the realness of the creative work will go away. We could see debates where people are talking about um, is AI as genuine as something that we made, as human made purely, right? So this is something open up for debate and for us to see what future beholds.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you for that answer. Ma'am, continuing with that question, are there any challenges and ethical concerns around this development and deployment also for that matter? And how should the policymakers approach this thing?
Oh, absolutely. There are quite a few things we need to keep an eye on when it comes to AI generated stuff. So, one big thing or big concern is the bias. Since AI learns from the data, if that data has got bias, the AI might end up churning out that content same way, and there'll be certain biases in the output as well. So it will be something a uh, like how a person is with not so good habits, AI is also coming up with output which is not so good output, right? Then there is this question on authenticity, correct? With AI creating things, how can we be sure what's real and what's not? So it could just change our view on the trust that on what we see and what we hear. So we might have a lot of deep fakes. So we have seen a lot of things on social media where we see AI made videos which are real fakes, and people can just trust that and don't know or won't know that what to trust and what not to. and that might create a lot of issues in the society as well. So there are certain controls that are required for that. Then when we talk about the ownership, right? So if AI makes a masterpiece, who owns it, right? Is it going to be the programmer who created the program of generative AI, or the person who fine tuned it? Because it's always the case where one developer would be programming a model, and then somebody else would be fine tuning it as per their use, and then who keeps it or who owns it? And then important question around is, yes, the jobs, how we say it, how is it going to change the entire landscape of the human workforce? And The most important question comes on is ethics, right? It's Pandora box of issues for us. Like, should AI generated content come with a disclaimer saying it's not entirely human made, or should we talk about, respecting copyrights and intellectual property rights, which is the biggest concern also in a lot of industries right now when it comes to creativity. So you see, while AI generated content is exciting, there is a bit of Wild West vibe right now. And it's like we are taming new tech frontiers altogether. But when
Okay.
I talk about how the policymakers should look at these concerns, so there are a long list of concerns attached to it. So there could be ways where, policymakers can build awareness of AI capabilities and their limitations in public. Also, they can have certain controls where they focus on the human values and the preferences, and also encourage the public and private sector stakeholders to recognize that AI systems require quality feedback. So we need to have that human loop in between, where human feedback is fed or checked. Human intervention is required in that, for that matter. And also there has to be a lot of rigorous benchmarking related to AI accountability, where they do specific testing and what standards should be there. And lastly, there has to be responsible AI. So when industries are innovating or exploring this new technology, there it has to be done in a responsible way, and which and also they should be held responsible to release the models in such a way that they are all safe, and there are no threats to the society.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you for that answer. Ma'am, what do you think are the potential future developments that we see in this area, and how should we prepare for it, basically?
Right. So if we see how we are leveraging it right now, is it is interacting with a lot of data and then helping us boost the decisions right now. So what all we talked about, what the industries might be doing and exploring in innovation and all that, that's something which is for a long-term perspective of generative AI. Right now, the focus has been and will be on productivity gains for some time. But in future, what we've talked about, like creating something new or the new innovative design coming into picture, or the cars, you might not know in 2 3 years down the line, you might be sitting in a car which was completely designed by generative AI, and also printed using the, how we've seen 3D printing helps, right? So you design it in 1 or 2 days as per your liking or personalized way, and you'll be sitting in that car because it's just printed in couple of hours, right? So those are certain things we don't know what is there ahead for us. And again, so the simple matter that, we as humans and the individuals, we need to prepare ourselves for the disruptions that are, coming in future. While we do that, how do we prepare for it is, one is where we cultivate the creative skills. We have to learn, um, as the generative AI model learns, we'll have to learn how to use it as well. So there is something, you need to understand AI basics. It's not very technical. Everybody can understand easily about, what are the basics. How do you actually collaborate or work on certain applications and tools that are there in the field of AI and generative AI, which are specifically no code thing, you have seen ChatGPT, how it is transforming everybody's life right now. You can ask any question and it answers to you like you're talking to a person just on chat, right? So something like that, or other tools for that matter, which will help you boost your productivity in the workspace, right? So you'll have to learn those tools, understand how to do that. And one thing to interact with these conversational chatbots, or talking to any kind of bot, would be you need to know how to give a particular prompt. So it's mostly like you are giving instructions, you need to learn how to give better instructions to get better output. So there is something called prompt engineering, what everybody can understand. So it's basically coding or doing anything for that matter with plain simple English, right? So that these are certain ways that we can learn and adapt ourselves for, or embrace ourselves for the disruptions that are coming our way.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for taking out your time and interacting with us, and solving or answering the doubts, clearing the doubts of the students. I mean, we understand that despite being the busy schedule you have, you just took out your time for us, and I'm pretty much sure that with the discussion that we had now and the answers that you have given, the students of not just the senior batch or the junior batch, or not limiting to any particular specialization, everyone will be much benefited with this. And yeah, so thank you so much for taking out time for us, and we're really grateful for this.
Thank you, team. Thank you for organizing this. I was excited about this conversation altogether, and it's always great to connect with the batch back at the alma mater. And I'm hopeful, and I just hope that this would have helped people. I know this is a very what we've talked about is just kind of an overview and introduction, but it is a big universe. So I would actually encourage you all to utilize it more and more, understand how we actually go about with the tools, regardless of what your majors is in there. And I wish all the best to all the students out there.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
Thank
you
you
so
so much.
much,
It was
ma'am.
really very useful. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.